There are two ways to add wholesale on your Shopify store, and one is crazy simple. And no, it doesn't require you to have Shopify Plus. In this video, I'll break down both methods, the pros and the cons, and I'll set up wholesale on one of my stores so that you can see the real process. By the end, you'll know exactly which setup fits your business and how to actually set it up. If you're trying to increase sales or you've been approached by other businesses with B2B pricing requests, but you don't have the time for complex wholesale setups, you're not on the Shopify Plus plan, and you don't want to disrupt your store's current sales, I'll show you what your options actually are. Shopify offers a mini course about this on Shopify Academy where they talk about these two options. And the first one, and the one I'm going to talk more about in this video, is having a blended store. That means a storefront that sells directly to the customer, your normal user, and in the same time it has the infrastructure to sell to businesses as well. And the second type of wholesale setup is when you have a dedicated store for your B2B customers with their own checkout and a complete separate store for your regular customers. Now, obviously the blended store has its pros. You just have one admin, you have shared data, inventory, customers, apps. You'll have the same analytics for both sides of your business in the same place with the possibility to segment your data. But it also has some cons because you'll have the same store for everyone. All customers will go through the same checkout, they'll use the same templates and the same theme. If set up correctly, that's not a big problem, but it's worth noting. And you also cannot separate inventory per order type using this method. On the other hand, having a whole dedicated store just for your B2B has its own advantages. It gives your B2B customers a custom experience. You'll be able to set up dedicated notifications, dedicated discounts, and so on. You'll also have a separated inventory flow for them. But in the end, you'll manage two admins, which is more work, and you won't have shared data either, which means less oversight and potentially more juggling from one store to another. For most people, the solution is the blended store, but in order to know that for sure, you need to ask yourself these questions. If the answer is yes to any of the questions, the blended store might be better. If the answer is no, then you might want to look into the dedicated version. Now, let me show you how easy you can set up the B2B side of your business on your current Shopify store, transforming it into a blended store. So if you don't have a specific reason for needing a dedicated store, a different store for your business customers, I think it's always better to have a blended store. This way you're gonna have the same apps, the same information, the same customers in one spot, and you can have a better overview over things. But from this Shopify course here, they say that this is only available for Shopify Plus plans. And I'm here to tell you that this is not necessarily true, because I'm gonna show you how you can have the wholesale functionality installed on a non-Shopify Plus plan. And to do that, I'm gonna use an app from Shopify's app store named Clay Wholesale pricing. You're gonna go to the Shopify's app store and you're gonna search for this, or you're gonna have a link in the description of this video. Once on this page, you're gonna install the app. I already have it installed, so I'm gonna just open that up. This is the dashboard of the app, and the Clay app has a free tier, so you can test it without having to pay up front. So in order to have the wholesale customers sign up to our program, we're gonna have to create a form, and we have here a button for that. But before of that, I want to go and create a page and a template where we can add this form to. So I'm gonna go to the online store. I'm going to open this in a new tab. So I'm going to click on edit theme. Here I'm going to create a new template from the top here. I'm going to click on this button at the top, and I'm going to go to pages. Inside pages, I can create a new template. This is the template we're going to use on our wholesale page. I'm going to click on create. I'm going to name this wholesale. And I'm going to use the base template because I don't need anything special in there. I'm just going to create this template. And once this is created, I'm going to go here where you see template, and I'm going to add a new section from my apps. And I'm going to select the Clay registration form. This is where our registration form will show up on the page. So it's going to show up right under the title. Don't mind this title, this is dummy text. So whenever you create a new template, it's going to pull some information from different pages. In this case, it pulled from the customer reviews, but at the top here, you can see that this template is assigned to 0 pages. We're going to have to create the wholesale page now and then assign this template to that. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to go to pages. And I just have these pages on the store. I'm going to add one more, and I'm going to name that page wholesale sign up. I'm going to capitalize that. So I'm going to select now the template, and I'm going to select the wholesale template, and I'm going to save. Now this page will show my wholesale form, but I have to create that first. So I'm going to open the app again and I'm going to go to forms. I'm going to create a new form by clicking this button over here. And you have these three options. Depending on how much information you need from your wholesale customers, you're going to choose one of these. All the forms will work in the same way. So I'm just going to select this one over here. And you're going to see the wholesale form here on the right, and you're going to have all the controls here on the left. So we're going to have the form name, which you can change here into wholesale sign up. Then you can go back and you can change the header if you want to change the title over here and add some information. Then you have the page one, and inside the page one, you have all these fields that collect information. If you need to edit these, you can just click on which one you need to edit and you're gonna have details. Let's say that we want to make this 50% of the width of the form. You can do that from over here. Then let's go back out. Let's say that we need a new element on this page and we want it right next there. So I'm gonna add, let's say the customer city, even though it doesn't make sense over there. I'm just going to drag this on top of the years in business field. And as you can see, it updated. Once you're done with these, you can go to the next page and make sure that you have everything you need in there. Again, you can go as deep as you want into collecting information from your customers. You can ask for registration numbers. You can ask them to upload files if you need to. So once you're done with all the fields in here, you can go and you can edit your footer, and then you can check out also the submit page. This is the page they see after they've added all the information and send it to you. And at the end, you can also check the mobile version. It's always good to check this version because a lot of people will visit your form from mobile and you want to make sure everything is aligned and it looks good. Once you're done with that, you can go to the next tab. Now we've been in configuration, we can go to appearance, and here you can actually design the form to fit your branding, to fit the colors of your website. And in here, starting at the top, we're going to have the layout. Depending on what you like, you can choose the default version or the box version. This one has a border. I'm just going to leave it on default. And then you're going to have the form width. You're going to have the font. You're going to have the font size, the background color. You're going to have text colors and so on. So adjust these to make sure that they fit to your color scheme and to your brand. Once you're done with that, you can go to the email tab. And inside here, you're going to be able to adjust or customize the emails this form will send. This form will send a couple of emails. When the application will be submitted, the customer will get an email. Then when an application gets rejected, they will get an email. And you also going to get an email from this form from whenever a customer will apply to join this program. And it's fairly easy to customize this email templates. You're just going to click on which one you want to edit. And you're going to have here an editor where you can actually go and write the email itself. So if you actually want to edit the text in this email, you can just go in there and add your text as normal. If you want to personalize this, you can go and you can add these tags. Each of these emails will have some variables in there. So you can just go in the place you want to add the variable and then choose it from here. Let's say you want to add the first name there. You're just going to select it from here and it's going to be added. And this variable here will be populated with the information that was collected from the form. So this is going to be dynamic. And this is a simple layout. If you want to create something more complex, you can go here and you can add more titles or images or HTML, whatever you need. In order to add more blocks to this email, you're going to just drag one of these underneath the one that you already have and then populate that with information. If you want to see this better, because this is quite small in here, you can go in full screen, and in here you can go ahead and edit the blocks that you've just added. Now if you want to remove them, you can just click on here, delete, and you're going to remove the newly added block. And when you added all the elements and your email has the right template, then you can go to the body settings. Here you can change text color, background color, and all sorts of other settings to have this email say and have the same voice as your brand has. Once you're done with one template, then you can go and you can edit the other ones and you can customize them all. And this is actually the final step for creating this wholesale sign up form. You'll want to go to publish here, and you either can just save the form and work on it later, or go and publish the form. So if you click on publish the form, you're going to see this pop-up. On this pop-up over here, I'm going to get the ID I need to display the form on the page that I created earlier. So I'm just going to copy this ID and I'm going to close the pop-up. And you can see that this form is now in draft. I want to go and make this live. So I'm going to click here on mark as active. And now the form will be live. Now I'm also going to click on save over here. And I'm going to go back to the page template where I have the Clay section and the Clay widget, and open that up. You're going to have here registration form ID. I'm going to paste the ID I just copied from there, and the form will already populate. You just have to save so that the changes are saved on the page. Now that I have my form already on the page, I'll go back to pages, because up until now this page was hidden. I didn't want people to see an empty wholesale form. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to make this page visible. I'm going to save. And now if I view that page, I'm going to see the wholesale sign up right over there. Now, depending on the theme you're on, you might want to customize how this form looks on this page. You may want to customize this page a little bit to have some images, some text, some explanations, and so on. I'm not going to do this in this video, but you can make this page look much nicer than this. Now, once a customer goes and fills in your form, goes to the next page and then submits the form, they'll see the success message here. And of course, you can go and you can customize this to look much better than it does right now. They'll also receive an email looking like this. This is the email body I was talking about earlier, which you can go and you can customize and add those blocks and different types of elements to make it look better than it does right now, but this is the default version. And inside the app, inside the forms, you're going to see this form that is active. And if you go lower, you're going to see your customers. And because I've already signed up, you're going to find the customer that just signed up, and it's going to say pending here. You can go and you can open that up. And depending on the information they gave you here, you can approve them or you can reject them. I'm going to approve this account and I'm going to save here. And now this customer will get approved. As you can see here, this account was approved, and you can also see the form that this account used to sign up, because you can have multiple forms in here. You can have multiple types of B2B customers and they can sign up through different forms. So you're going to have all your customers here with all their information. If you want to see more details, you can open them up and you can see all the information right here. You can require tax information. You can require whatever you need in order to be able to collaborate with them. So now that we have an active sign up form and customers can actually sign up to our wholesale program, we'll have to create pricing rules so that we entice them to shop with us. In order to do that, you're going to go to pricing over here and you're going to click on create pricing rule, and you're going to be able to select from these two options. One is automated pricing and one is manual pricing. The automated pricing is actually a discount that you're going to give on top of the price that you already have on the store. And manual pricing, this is where you're going to set it up manually. So I'm going to go with the automated pricing. Now I'm going to name this pricing rule basic wholesale pricing. And I would want to give a 5% off to all my wholesale customers. So I'm going to leave this checked like that, all products, and I'm not going to exclude any of the products I have on the store. I'm going to leave it on wholesale pricing over here. And then underneath, I'm going to be able to add the percentage I want. So it's 5% from the Shopify price. You can also have it 5% from Shopify compared price or Shopify cost price. I'm just going to leave it on Shopify price. You can also schedule this, but for me, it's going to be an ongoing thing. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. If you have markets, you can also set the markets in here. But for me, this store only has Spain as a market. If you have multiple markets, you can add them from there. And when you're done setting this up, you can go and you can activate this pricing rule and save it. And now this pricing rule is active. You can see that in the background, but because I didn't create any customer groups, it asks me if I want to do that right now. I'm going to say maybe later because I want to create another pricing rule. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to create another pricing rule from over here. I'm going to say again, automatic pricing, and I'm going to say here, tier discount jacket, because I want to have a tier discount for a specific product. So I'm going to select a specific product from over here. I'm going to browse through my products and find it, and it's this one over here. I'm going to then go here to set quantity pricing, and I want to apply this to all the variants of that jacket. And then underneath, I'm going to be able to set the quantities and the discount. So we have now one step. So quantity 1, I'm going to have here 5%. Then I'm going to add another quantity for 5. I'm going to add 15%. And then for 10, I'm going to add 30%. So these are the quantities and the discounts you get as a wholesale customer. Then again, we can schedule this, but because for me this is an ongoing thing, I'm going to just leave it as it is. I'm going to set it active and I'm going to save. Now we have two pricing rules and they are both here. What we want to do next is to assign these pricing rules to specific customer groups. And to create customer groups, you're going to go here to customer group and you're going to click on create customer group. I'm going to name this wholesale list, and then I'm going to single out the customers that are tagged with Clay Wholesale, and these will be the customers in this group. Then I'm going to go down below, add pricing configurations, and here we can add the pricing rules that apply to this customer group, and we can select them from over here. So we have first the basic wholesale pricing. I selected that and I can add it there, and then I can also add the jacket, because I want all my customers that have this tag to be able to see these two rules. Of course, in a real store, you might want to have more complex rules and more rules, but this is just to exemplify the process. Then to this particular customer group, I can go and I can add product limits, I can add order limits, I can add payment terms, but I have to go and create those terms and those limits first. Because I didn't do that, I'm just going to apply this pricing rules and then I'm going to save. Of course, now we can see that this group is in draft. We want to make that active and then save. Okay, so now that we have the customer group created and we have the pricing rules created, all we have to do is go and enable the widgets on the store, because right now we can see the normal pricing on the store, even though I'm logged in as a customer. So in order to do that, I'm going to edit this theme and I'm going to go to the app embeds, and in here I'm going to look for the Clay Wholesale priced and I'm going to enable that. And once that's done, I'm going to save. Now, because I am logged in as a wholesale customer, I already see that on this page, I have this panel right here with the tiered discounts that I've just set inside the Clay app under this rule for this particular jacket. So we have for 1, 5%, for 5, 15%, for 10, 30%. And they reflect here on the page. We have 1, this price, 5, this price, 10, this price. If I add this product to cart, so if I go and I add 5 of them to cart, I'm going to get the discount from over here. So it's going to cost $140 per unit. And that will be reflected right here. We have 140 times 5 is 701. Now, if I go to the other products on the store, I've set a 5% discount for all the products. We can see that all the products have this discount on. And I'm going to log out so that you can see the normal prices as well. So I'm going to go to one of these products and we can see here that we save $4 per unit. I'm going to go and I'm going to update this rule in just a second, but let's just add one of these products to the cart as well. So if I go here, I can see that I have the wholesale discount applied for this one, and I have the wholesale discount applied for this other product too. In order to modify one of these, because normally when you have a wholesale discount, it's not 5%, it's maybe 30 or 50%. I'm going to go to the pricing rules and I'm going to change the rule for the whole catalog, and I'm going to change that to 50%. So in here we have the basic wholesale pricing and I'm going to change that to 50%. You'll want to calculate this and make sure that it makes sense for your store. But in my case, because I'm just testing, I just want to show you how that looks like. So I've just updated that pricing rule. Now every product on the store is 50% discounted. We have now as a price $46.50 out of $93, the price that it was before. And the messaging here, you save $46.50 per unit. And if I go to all my products, I can see that all the products here are discounted by 50%, which is the base rule that I've just set. So if I go now and I log out of this account, which is a wholesale customer, I'm gonna see everything priced normally. So I'm gonna just do that. And here it is. This is the site now with the full pricing. This is how customers that are not wholesale customer will see the store. So I can go back to collections all, and you can see that no product has a discount other than the products that you already discounted, you maybe used compared to price, or any other products that have some sort of discount. They will show their discounts, but you won't see the discounts for the wholesale customers. Now, as you remember, we had here that panel with the discounts for wholesalers. As you can see right now, we don't have that anymore on the product page. You just have the normal pricing there. So I'm just going to log back into my wholesale account. And now, because I am logged in back into my account, I can see the wholesale pricing again. I can see this table over here. And if I go to any of the collections, I can see the pricing there. If I log out of the account again, the price will go back to normal, and the same for the product pages. I won't be able to see the wholesale discounts anymore. So in addition to the pricing rules that you can set for your wholesalers, you'll also be able to set product limits for them. You're going to be able to set order limits. You're going to be able to set payment terms just for them so that they can pay differently than normal customers, and also shipping rules that apply only to your wholesalers. Really easy to use. If you're interested in the Clay app, you're going to have a link in the description of this video. If you want more videos on improving and scaling your Shopify store, do subscribe to the channel, and I think you'll want to see this video next. Click it and I'll see you there.